What do you think the next Minecraft update will be? And fortunately, I don't just think I know the answer to this, I know that it will be the Wild update. And obviously this question was asking about 1.20, but it's just important to remember that although there are betas and snapshots and you can play around with some early features now, the update is still not out, and in a couple of months or whenever it does release, it will still be fresh content to most people who lay their eyes on it. However, we do get lots of questions about it, like this one from Fields Family, who says it's sad they didn't save the name Wild update for something bigger. And this is a really interesting point a lot of people have been raising, which is, yeah, so the Wild update is most of the way through. They've hinted quite a few times now that they're in the finishing stages of adding features to this update, and a lot of people feel as though there's not really enough. I mean, they added the mangrove swamp and the scariest mob to the game, alongside a whole biome and structure specifically for him. However, it doesn't feel as though it's a big enough Wild update for some people. Maybe there should be a part 2. This is a really interesting point, you know. Is the Wild update living up to its name in the same way that the Never update or the Update Aquatic or even Village and Pillage kind of did? And the answer to that is probably not. It definitely seems as though it's an update more akin to something like 1.11 or 1.12. If we use 1.11 as an example, it was called the Exploration update, and that's really exciting as an idea because, yeah, add loads of exploration to Minecraft. However, what that really meant is they added a brand new giant structure into one biome in the game. That new structure had a brand new scary mob, and around that mob there was some interesting items that you could get, including a rare item that would help you avoid some of the pain from death. And wow, the comparisons are pretty clear now between these two updates. And obviously 1.11 didn't change exploration in this long-lasting forever way. In fact, it added all sorts of weird mechanics you don't think about too much now, as well as some that you might. However, the long-lasting effects are the smaller features in this update: shulker boxes and also firework rockets projecting you when you glide. You know, Elytra got so much more useful after this update, and to this day, if you play survival, you probably utilize some of these super useful features in 1.11. That's where 1.19 might end up relying. I mean, will most players be able to take advantage of the ancient cities? Let's be honest, 95% of people are never going to find one of these things naturally. You're going to specifically seek it out, and so the super scary fight is going to be a little bit kind of, you know, something you've seen in videos all this time. However, the average player, when they find it, it will be a nuts experience that just adds another little corner experience to Minecraft, and I kind of like that. And it also lays the ground for something much bigger in a way that 1.11 didn't. So is 1.19 disappointing? I think that if this is their start of half-year updates, there was always going to be a noticeable drop in the quantity of features. We saw with the Caves and Cliffs update that they felt like they promised too much, and keeping on top of it was really, really hard. They had to split it into 3 separate updates, and even then, a lot of the features aren't still going to be fully in there. And so this could kind of be their hedge against it. Also, I feel as though a lot of people, when they think about the size of this update, you might be forgetting a lot of features. Maybe that's a sign we should cover all of those at some point soon. But for example, you might forget that the alley is being added in this update too, and the alley is the sort of feature that you won't realize how useful it is until it's a key part of what you're doing. Speaking of the alley, by the way, can't kill an alley you own, but you can still accidentally kill your dog. That is 100% correct, and it actually is by design. The reason that you can't kill allays, we found out from this week's Minecraft Now stream, which they did again, by the way, for the 3rd time. It's very confusing, their schedule they're using for these, but in that stream they explained the allay's actually been in development since 1.16. It was planned for the Never update as a way to kind of you know, add something more friendly to balance out all of the harsh things in that dangerous update, but they didn't add it until eventually in 1.19 the idea comes back. So, you know, the community, we played into the hands of the Minecraft developers by voting for a feature they already had, I would argue. But the other thing that they revealed in that stream is exactly why you can't kill allays. The idea is unlike other friendly mobs, the allay specifically picks up blocks, let's say when you're mining, so he's going to be running in front of you where you've just mined a block, where you're going to be swinging your pickaxe anyway, and so just to help you avoid the pain of killing your own allay, and my god, would it be painful killing one of these guys, given the effort you have to go through, then that is something they've done. Also, I guess this is the tie-in to 1.11, right? Like, the Woodland Mansion is like just a fun quirk in the corner of Minecraft, but now you're going to want to specifically go there to get a ton of allays, so you know what? I guess that's the other link between 1.19 and 1.11. Can't believe I didn't think of that till just now. Speaking of things you didn't think about till just now, what do you think 4J Studios should do for the 10th anniversary of Minecraft on consoles, and what do you think they will do? Good question, Mega vs. Prime. I want to quickly just say, Minecraft Xbox 360, the edition that started the console edition as a whole, and to some large extent this entire channel, turns 10 years old on May the 9th of 2022. This is going to be a Monday, which means the closest Tuesday to then is going to be next Tuesday. I think this is important because if there's going to be some celebration, they can't update the console editions to do that. Or they might be able to, but I imagine it's in their contract that they're not meant to. And even if they could, it would take them a lot of money and effort and time and blah, blah, blah. So what they're going to do instead is they're probably going to release something on the marketplace. I hope they can release it for free. In general, that's quite hard to do. You need like special permission from Mojang to release things for free on the marketplace. But I hope they get that form of permission to do some form of like tutorial world, even if it's just a mix of all the tutorial worlds they previously released, or even something else altogether. There's just so much nostalgic content I think that they could be releasing, and we've seen so many hints. So Roger Carpenter, you might not have heard that name in a while if you follow Minecraft news, but he used to be a producer for Minecraft Console Edition. Now he just works for Mojang Studios in the UK, according to his Twitter bio. So basically, because he is a producer for Minecraft, and because he's been working on Minecraft Console since the beginning, he's been tweeting out all sorts of nostalgic things. So first of all, he shows a really old post showing that Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition broke 1 million sales in the first 5 days. This is what they predicted it would sell over its lifetime. So 1 million sales in 5 days. He shows off Minecon Las Vegas in 2011. Man, look how far Minecon's come. He shows off all sorts of old images, and he's just saying 10-year anniversary soon. So this could just be a commemorative tweet from 4J where they say, yeah, 10 years, congrats everyone. I think we will see something though, because generally speaking, in the past we saw all sorts of anniversary celebrations. In fact, the ocelot in a suit, which I used to wear as my skin, came from one of those birthday packs. They were free, and it was a way of celebrating that Minecraft had turned a certain years old. Minecraft Xbox 360 is turning 10 years old, and not to celebrate that, especially given the wild ride that we have had, would be strange to me. But it's entirely possible. I think the most likely thing is they're releasing something on the marketplace on Tuesday. Who knows what something is? I'm excited for it though. Man, it is so weird to say that Minecraft console is 10 years old, huh? But times move fast, and so too does Minecraft Console Edition, I guess. Anyway, speaking of things that move quickly, this next question comes in from Milo the Tweeter, and it's the opposite of quick, because they say, Toycat, I want to know if you've ever considered trying to get hired by Mojang, because I think some of your ideas could be useful, plus you always point out inconsistencies of the game that should be fixed, and I feel like if you were part of the development team, it would change stuff. So, there's two parts of this. One is the fact that, obviously, a lot of Mojang people, I think King B Dogs and Olaf were tweeting out this week saying that, yeah, actually, the biggest problem with Minecraft updates is not having ideas. The idea that we just haven't thought of something is rarely true. It's the fact that sometimes it's hard to implement a thing, or if you do implement something to fix an inconsistency or whatever, you're going to create another inconsistency. You're going to create a whole secondary problem that maybe you wouldn't think about, because honestly, the solutions to lots of things when you're just thinking about them logically are easy, but maybe when you're a programmer it's different. And so that's the biggest reason, is that like, well, I'm not a Java programmer, and I also can't do C++. And yeah, I feel as though there is a whole team of designers who do focus on the design problems or the mental problems or whatever else, but in general, it's still important to know the coding stuff. So yeah, I like pointing out inconsistencies from the sidelines. I like, hopefully, the fact that I know every now and then developers watch these videos, and I hope that they can use whatever we take from the end player experience to make Minecraft better. But I think that in general, the Mojang people are all super talented, and like, definitely more talented at turning things from their mind into things in a block game than I would ever be. Speaking of things that are better than I would ever be, Spoutin21 asks, you trying to build Alaska? And I want to say, this is really impressive, because this comment came in from last week's Q&A, right? Obviously, you've seen in the background, the Alaskas. It looks more like Alaska now, and the reason that I'm building Alaska, because that's the next obvious question, or why did I build this house? I built both this house and Alaska for literally 25 seconds of just looking at them in a future video. It was a really poor use of time, but I just like kind of playing around and building stuff in Minecraft. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope that you enjoy looking at it. When that video eventually comes out, you can say, wow, nice Toycat, I like this whole house that took you half an hour to build and that showed up for literally 15 seconds of a video, and I'll appreciate that. Speaking of things I'll appreciate, I think the alley is game breaking. I think we should not introduce them because they'll ruin the spirit of Minecraft. Over the last 2 years, there have been many updates to make the game easier to play, and their complaint is that, yeah, it just makes Minecraft easier and anyone can pick it up. And this is something that I think is relatively small. Minecraft is getting easier over time, but very, very slowly. I think it's easy to spot when you think side by side that we didn't have enchantments before 1.2. We didn't have netherite before 1.16. We didn't have beacons before 1.4. And so mining now versus mining in 1.0, it's so different. Working on mega projects has gotten easier, right? But I think this is an important part of when you add new choices, even though they can be theoretically equal, they're all going to be slightly better for different situations. This is a normal thing, as long as we don't see power creep happening too fast, so we don't see a tier above netherite in the next next update that mines even faster. As long as you don't see that happening in too quick of a trajectory, I think it's actually totally fine, and it's a natural part of the evolution of any game, because if it wasn't getting very slightly easier over time while also adding different challenges, because although Minecraft is easier, is the warden easier to kill than previous mobs? No, not really. So yeah, add new challenges and then add new ways to solve existing challenges, and things will get weird, but in general it works out. Speaking of things that can work out, Mojang pretty much made fireflies useless. Do you think they'll change that? I still think fireflies not being eaten by frogs as being the way to make frog lights is the weirdest decision, and they made it because, oh yeah, some firefly species are poisonous to frogs, but like, again, this is that problem where if we insist to 100% Minecraft game accuracy in future updates, you just make all of the things in the game which right now aren't accurate, you make them even more confusing. I mean, I think that it's totally fine for not everything to be perfectly accurate, and also the fireflies would have been a good fit, and also they're in the overworld so they're easier to get. Like right now, think about the pain that it's going to involve to actually get these frog lights in any serious numbers, and so yeah, long story short, I'm not looking forward to it. But what I am looking forward to, I want to show you something interesting, because as a YouTuber, I'm sure everyone gets this, but as a YouTuber especially, people throw information at you all the time. In my Super Flat series, I've been getting this non-stop of people just insisting things that are straight up wrong, and it's weird because I guess it just proves that we all have a different perspective on the world, and like, just give an example of two things that both sound wrong, but also both of them aren't. Ace Die says, Toycat, you can get coal by crafting charcoals into a coal block and then turning it back into coal. That sounds janky and that doesn't sound like it should work, and it doesn't. But then this second comment also sounds fake because Reuven Cooper says you can get a stone cutter. All you need to do is craft it with polished diorite. Why would polished diorite work in a stone cutter? And it totally does for some reason. So we can actually make stonemasons in the Super Flat Survival, and it's one of the many things that I'm excited to do. We've got to make an iron farm at some point. I'm gonna have to get some bees working in my crops. There's so many like big improvements I'm excited to do. Even though, you know, we're 160 something days into the series now, I'm still like so excited about every little bit of it, and that is the fun thing about Superflat. I totally recommend it if you've got some time that you want to spare into making something totally from scratch in survival, because it really has been working quite well. Speaking of things that work quite well, the YouTube algorithm is not working in Lix Tarini's favor. They say, I am not subbed to this channel, why is it recommended to me? And this is on one of my YouTube posts where I post a meme to show off the Superflat Survivals, which, in case you're curious as to why I do that, YouTube deprioritizes live streams, as because, you know, like it's multiple hours long, you're only going to get the one ad at the start, so it's not in YouTube's interest to really show those to you, but they do love to show community posts and shorts because, you know, they're trying to push those as new ways to interact on YouTube. And so even though a lot of people who are subscribed to the channel won't get the notifications for live streams, a lot of people who aren't subscribed to the channel and who have never watched it before will get, you know, recommendations for my posts because YouTube is trying to push those on them, so they'll maybe subscribe to my channel solely because of the Minecraft memes I post. It doesn't make any sense, right? But yeah, that's why people are upset with it. And this is an important time to remind you that, like, yeah, even though not subscribing is very easy on YouTube, the reason that I recommend doing it, like, obviously I'm self-inclined to say I would like my subscriber count to go up, and if you subscribe, that's great, but also it's the way to guarantee that you control the stuff that comes to you. I try to make extra sure to subscribe to channels once I'm like sure I like them, because it is so frustrating when channels you don't like keep showing up, but YouTube has no way to tell them apart from the channels that you do love, that you keep clicking when you showed up, because you've basically subscribed even if you haven't. And so yeah, if you want to see the Superflat Survival, including the one tomorrow, consider subscribing. And even subscribing, you usually have to turn on notifications, and even when you turn on notifications, you might not even get the live stream notified to you, but if you want to see them, that's the best way. Or you can check out the Unlisted live stream playlist, and in there what I do is I post my live streams a little bit before, like with a time warning, and so you can you can subscribe to specific notifications on specific streams. Why is it so complicated? Wouldn't it be nice if you could at least see the videos on the live streams for channels you're subscribed to, and then if you didn't want to watch them, it could be your choice rather than YouTube just assuming it. Anyway, speaking of choices, Frank Cauty says, did you know that the splash text, Hello Russia, was removed in the Java edition? And that sounded fake to me. Like, really? We're not going to remove a Hello Russia splash text, but as you can see, looking at the list of splash texts on the wiki, Hello Greece, Hello Japan, Hello South Korea, and Hello China are all still in the game and have been as of 1.1. However, the Hello Russia is only in the game until Java edition 1.19. That's right, someone at Mojang and /or Microsoft made the decision version, saying hello Russia in the splash text is a bit too Russia friendly, and so they're removing it. This seems like a bit of an over-the-top thing. I mean, I'm totally down with saying that the Russian regime, not very good. If this message said, hello Putin, you are my friend, that's probably a good remove. If this message was like, hello, give money to Russians and support their economy and wartime activities, that would be going quite far, and maybe we should remove those. But this is just saying, hello Russians, it is me, your comrade Mojang, and I am happy to invite you to play my block placing game. I mean, is that being too nice? Are we doing the thing that I would say that people who aren't very good do, where you generalize entire groups by the actions of people who are responsible? And again, it's totally fine to say even the whole Russian regime, the whole war machine, all of those things are bad because that is actively causing misery, but the existence of just the Russian, whatever, you know, I guess goodbye Russia, never again, am I right? What do you think about that? Am I going crazy on this one? Is this actually a reasonable way to sanction Russia? Do you think that Putin's gonna hear about this and he's gonna go, wow, I didn't realize we'd upset the block mining people, we better get right out there now? And is it going to have any material impact? Maybe I'm really dumb for not thinking that it will. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my building in the background. Again, you're gonna get a high quality 15 seconds of a future video, which I hope that you enjoy when it comes out. Because for now, thank you, goodbye.